Everybody want to blame me for everything. And we are live. We are live. Welcome everyone to our man's cave conversation. But guess what? We got taken over because the ladies of our lives said, you know what? We got something to say about you. And guess what? They here now. I would introduce my wife, but guess what? My queen, my best friend, my rib, my everything. My first, my last. I think that was a song, but anyway.
It is.
It
Definitely.
is? I thought I wrote that, but okay.
No, you didn't.
I didn't write it. To my wife, Kelly, honey, say hi to Kelly, to everybody.
Hi,
Don't
everybody.
no, let's not do the teacher wave, okay? Do your wave.
I was
Oh,
about to do that.
All right. I thought she was about to go somewhere else with that. I was worried.
What? Where am
Woo.
I go with it?
I don't know. Never mind.
That's
All right.
behind closed doors.
See, she's gonna give it to me later. All right. So everyone else, let's go with the couple that's above me. Let's go with Josh and his wife. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, well, I'm Josh. I'm happy to be back doing this. I'll let her give her own introduction. What wife extraordinaire?
My name is Katie.
Let's go with
I'm Josh's wife. I am pregnant with his child, so we know. I probably shouldn't say that. Should I? We'll see in a few months here.
Married for about 6 years here, and I mean, I guess this doesn't count as we got a little lecture from Carlton right before the live.
we'll talk about that in a second. Don't worry about that.
We've been all right, fine. All right, I'm being cut off. All right, fine.
No, say your whole thing, okay?
We've been together for almost a decade.
Yeah.
So long enough where Katie has seen me without my beard. So that's a long time.
All right. I'm gonna talk to you later, Josh. I'm gonna text you later, okay? You got the phone on the side, okay? You gotta be a man all the way through this, okay? All right. To the next lovely couple. Hey, the kid, don't shake your head, okay? Don't shake your head, the kid. Just agree with me, okay? The next lovely couple. Lacey, go ahead, man. Lead us. What is the next couple?
Lacey, hey folks, how y'all doing? Good to be back. This is my beautiful wife right here, Nakia.
See, that was my way.
All right. See how he did that? He didn't acknowledge. Okay, first I'm gonna do this. We've been married for
Oh my
15
goodness.
years. Okay, 15 years. Josh and them been married for 6 years. Lacey and them been married for
4. It'll be 4 this year.
Aww.
4 years, people. 4 years. So we got a lot going on right here. Okay, so first thing I want to do is acknowledge the fact marriage only counts, okay, when you say I do. All right, that's the first thing I'm going to do. Okay. Right. Do you see where I'm leading up to? This is where I'm about to lead up to. Here we go.
Relationship matters, okay? So how long have we been in a relationship? Before we start to get to the married part, there's a relationship there. If it wasn't, we would never be married. So how long have we been in a relationship? There we go. Okay, I'm waiting.
I like it, Kelly.
You just got a point.
She's got a point.
This is how you do it.
Yeah, but I'm still moving and he's frozen, huh?
I'm gonna guesstimate.
Okay, guesstimate.
And my guesstimate is altogether 18 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Guesstimate. Yeah. See, she don't even know the numbers. See, next question. Go ahead, go Lacey and the kid. Go ahead, give the numbers.
Y'all got it. Go ahead.
See, now she got to do the research, and now you want to blame me. She got to do the research. And the kid don't even know. All she knows they've been married for 8 years.
Okay.
Wow. Is this how you want to start this off?
Yes.
Trouble.
Wow.
Yes.
Trouble. I'm gonna get him a shirt.
I do know.
Okay. How long?
Well, it'll be 4 years this year. So You just add like a year on to that.
Nice.
Okay. All right, 5 years. All right, there you go. Lacey knew that. That's
Good
why, yeah,
answer,
good
good
answer, Lacey. He's like, what
Well,
she said.
it's really hard to remember. You know, we don't waste much time. So,
Yeah, y'all go straight to the point. Let's get married.
I mean, you know, when you know, you know. What are we wasting time on?
I was doing Martin and Gina over here. Okay, never mind. Let's continue going.
Hey, Lacey, we'll have to go back to the archive, but I'm sensing a real edge in Carlton's voice over here. I mean, was it not his idea to invite our significant others to the man cave?
Yes, it was his idea.
Hey,
And
talk about self-sabotage, man. Talk about self-sabotage.
And look, I thought it was a good idea. It was sounded good, and then
And then what happened? Is it
You
still
see-
a good idea?
you see this. You
Is
see
it
this.
still a good
You see this.
idea?
I'm on the couch right now.
Is it still a good
This
idea?
is me on the couch. I feel like
It's
everybody's
okay
pointing
to
their finger
set
at me.
people up for failure. I mean, I don't understand that. Why do you want to set everybody up?
I didn't set everyone up. I'm just saying, I just want to make sure everyone knows the numbers. That's all. That's important. To find out, that's a very important number. Because if you get the number wrong, you're in trouble. Okay.
Just
Oh.
make sure you add that building phase. Those building phases mean a lot. Those few years.
Building days. Point number 1. Building days matters. Okay.
Building phase.
Building phase. Sorry, I apologize. Building phase matters. Okay. All right. I remember our building phase. Don't you?
Speaking of the building phase, I'm always curious. I always ask couples this in my practice and stuff. What do you think if you had to pick like 2 magic ingredients in that building phase, like that it has to be built upon? What 2 words do y'all think are the most, those most important characteristics of starting a really healthy relationship?
The 2 C's, communication and consistency.
I like
that a lot.
consistency. I like that.
You look at where
Yeah. It was almost the same for me. I would say communication and trust. Which I guess is kind of the same because the trust kind of comes from doing the right thing consistently. So in most areas.
Yeah.
I would say PI, patient and intentional.
I thought you were gonna say private investigator.
Yes, you know where I was going with it. Lacey, that's the second part of your business. Private investigation. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Carlton, you stole the letters from my husband. Now you want to use abbreviations and everything because Lacey used abbreviations.
I had to because like he did that. I ain't about to help him outdo me like that.
Good, because it's the couple session. I see where you're going with this.
He put the standard. So I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna go up 1, 2.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
go up 2.
All right. Since when you use letters, or your kids have grown, you're not using letters still.
You use letters.
That's what we do over here. We use letters.
I have a 6-year-old daughter. We still, doing flashcards.
She's
All right,
23.
now.
She's 23. That doesn't count.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They are now. Are now. Like, okay.
All right, Kelly.
I would say the same thing Nakia said is communication and
Why
trust.
not? What about what I said? Never mind. Go ahead.
Private investigating? I don't know.
No.
But yeah. You always need a line of communication. If you don't have communication, you don't have anything. How do you know, what's going on in somebody else's life? And trust, you got to be able to trust that person. You wouldn't even move to this part, you got to build on trust. You wouldn't move to the marriage part if you didn't have that before. So
Yeah.
What about you, Katie?
I would say, well, what stood out to Josh for me was just that it was the most stable relationship that I had ever been in. That kind of, goes back into that consistency that Lacey was talking about, that I knew when Josh said he was going to call me, he called me. When, he said, I'm taking you out on a date, he would take me out on a date. And I just didn't have that with any other relationship.
So stability.
Yeah, stability is one. And maybe this is kind of the same thing, but dependability too, that I remember even early on in our relationship that we were in an argument, and I remember Josh kind of like pausing in the argument and saying, you know, Katie, this is really hard, but I think that this relationship is worth it. And I think you're worth it. And I was like, whoa. Like, again, like, you know, I just had so many guys that were like, you're crazy, see you. And you know, Josh stuck around. So he was stable and he was dependable. And that was really important to me.
I'm being held against my will. No.
Hey, Josh, blink once if you blink twice if you want to run away. There you go.
He done blinked like 7,000 times.
I send the help. I'll send the help, Josh. I will send the help. Okay.
I said to him the other day, I said, you chose to propose to me, you chose to marry me, you chose to impregnate me, so
Okay, you gotta deal with everything.
Whoa.
He did. He
Wait a minute.
chose.
I did not choose that last part. Okay.
No, he did.
I did not choose that.
What do people do after they get married?
It's a 50-50 chance. Okay. I'm trying Russian roulette. That's all I'm doing.
That's what I know, but no, he chose.
Yeah, real intentional.
He was intentional. Yes, he was intentional. Yes, use the word. Yes.
There
Comes
you go.
from the guy who was intentional back to back. So yeah,
Hey,
intentional.
hey, you know what, Josh, Katie, I might have back to back. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm putting it out there right now. You need to feel this pain of having children back to back. You need to feel it. You see this? You feel this?
Yeah.
Kita from us back to back. It was not fun.
You gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
Okay.
Get it over with.
It's very tough, but it is worth it. I'd say go for it. Get it over with, get it out the way. When you're done with bottles, you're done with bottles.
That's a
Good point. That's a good point.
Diapers, formula.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
That
true.
costs money.
Oh, potty training.
Potty training.
Potty training.
I just got potty trained just a couple years ago. Still working on it.
It's true.
Oh man, yeah, that's something right there. Let's do this now. In marriage, there's a lot of rough areas which is not in the handbook. It's not on any type of social media platform. It's not in a general conversation. I'm talking about those rough areas that no one talks about. You say, baby, just pray about it and keep going on. Let's talk about that. Those areas. I would say, just my opinion. For me, I believe in our beginning stages, it was rough. I mean, it was rough for both of us because she was going through having the babies back to back. Then I was just being extra tired, just going to work, doing extra long hours. And that part was, I would say, where everything started feeling like separate, like we was on two different paths. We're not on the same page a lot of times. And that's where it ties into, of course, what Lacey said, communication is important. But in the grip of the marriage and things are like uneasy, what are some tips you can give someone when they are feeling in a conflict situation in their marriage? Doesn't matter.
For me, it's it's empathy, and creative problem solving. And being comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. I think that's one thing Katie and I have always done well. I can't remember a time where we've gone to bed mad. We're usually, even if we have to stay up to the wee hours of the morning to figure something out, we both like to figure it out right then. And another thing that I think really works for us is we do tend to fight fair. And in my practice, I tell couples that a lot. You have, every couple is going to fight. That's a part of relationship. But you have to fight fair. You can't throw out personal attacks. You can't throw around the word divorce. You can't leverage those things. If you do, it's going to get bad. So I feel like we're good at giving each other space most of the time when we're in an argument, but we really do fight fair and we're open to problem solving. And that's really worked for us. That's an idealist. Of course, there's been times where it's gotten heated and we'll step away from a conversation knowing we're going to come back to it. That's where too, like, hey, like I need space from this for a second. Like I need an hour. I'll come back to it. In my mind, one of the worst things I've seen couples do is they and it happens. I think a lot of couples are guilty of it, a lot of great couples, but they'll sort of walk out and then it's never addressed. You know, maybe they leave the house and then it never actually gets addressed. That's not creative problem solving, that's avoidance. And eventually the bottle gets full and it starts to overflow.
Yeah. I think what me and Kelly do, we do a lot. Is our best practice. It's hard to go to sleep. We're not going to sleep. That night is a long night. That next day, it's gonna be terrible at work. But that night or of argument, we know it's gonna be a long night. We up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, just talking or trying to get to the root of the problem and solving it. And that is very key. Most marriages don't have problem solving skills in. And a lot of marriages need problem solving skills. No matter what the situation, they got to have a problem solving skill, either for either party to just to be intentional to try to solve the problem, not just
You gotta be open to trying to solve the problem.
Got to be
Yeah.
open.
If you're not open, then you won't solve any problems. But then, like walking away, even when you walk away for a second, I feel like when most people walk away, it's because you got to process it in your brain before you even want to say something to the other person. You're like, hold on, let me make sure I'm saying the right things, let me make sure I'm saying it in a way that's compassionate and, but I still be able to get my point across.
Yeah.
So, and definitely always come back to it.
I tell couples all the time, if you catch yourself, your partner's talking to you and you're just thinking of your next response instead of listening, that's a good time to take a little break. And you can set up those rules when things are good, like when you're out to dinner and be like, remember that last time we had, like, one thing I need is, like, I do need to be able to call a timeout sometimes. But I am curious with Kelly, of both couples, are either of you, because for me, when we get into an argument, I'm more of like the shutdown. I have to really work at being forthcoming, and I do. It just takes me time, but like we'll be in a tough talk and I'll sit in silence. We'll sit next to each other on the opposite couches here in our family room, and I'll sit there for like 10 minutes in silence, and then I'll start to speak, but I need that. So I'm curious, is anybody sort of guilty of that too, of sort of being that really quiet one in the fight?
Let's do it this way. Which one is shut down most in the relationship?
Who shut down most in the relationship?
Yeah, just shut down.
I think guys do.
Yeah, okay. So all the guys, I was like, all the guys does that. Okay, all right. So it's one-sided. All right, forget it. I was about to say something real smart, but never mind. I keep it to myself. Go ahead, Lacey.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I had to realize that a lot of times when we're having an argument, it's really just a misunderstanding, and it could be caused by whatever I'm dealing with, whatever she's dealing with outside of our relationship, just likewise. So when I realized that, I'm gonna go back to the double C's, but one of the C's meaning comprehension, because see, I have to make sure I have the right set of ears on at the time to hear what's being said to me. And I can't do that if I'm not in the right frame of mind, meaning that I'm distracted by something else. So a lot of times that's what happens when we have a disagreement or a misunderstanding. That's exactly what it is. I didn't hear something correctly. I heard a word, changed that word in my mind because of what I was already feeling about something else. So when I started doing a little more analyzing of where I was, changed my set of ears, I can hear what's being said to me and respond appropriately.
Yeah,
I like that.
I agree with that. And I also think that you hit like another level, like you break through the glass ceiling when it comes to communication and relationship, when you are able to understand what the other person needs out of communication, not just your agenda and your intent, when you're able to understand what the other person needs in communication, and when both parties are truly able to see the other person as a partner and as a team and not as the enemy, to understand that no matter what this other person is saying, whether I like it or if it didn't come out right, whatever the case may be, to be able to trust that that person's intentions toward you are always good, you know, that this is not the enemy. They're not saying it to beat me up or to tear me down, that you have to be able to trust that even if they can't put it all together pretty how you want it to sound, that what they're saying is for the benefit of the relationship. And then like back to the other part, as far as understanding what the other person needed, I felt like if you walk out while I'm talking to you, like I feel like you walked out like I'm upset because we're in the middle of a conversation, you know. And so I had to understand, okay, if this is not a personal something towards you, what this other person needs, what he needs in communication is a break, you know, is just a reset, is a moment to gather thoughts and all of that. And, you know, when I was able to not internalize that break, because I'm like, no, I already know in my head what it takes to finish, you know, whatever the disagreement it is. Like I've already thought it through in my head, so I understand what the break is for. But when you understand that the other person may just need to take a break to just reset, and you allow them to do that, you know, respectfully and not internalize it, then, you know, then they come back to the table. Everybody can come back to the, you know, same level playing field and calm and relaxed and all that, you know, and then you give him time to apologize.
Okay.
Time out. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. No.
Listen, just listen. Hold on, listen.
And apologize. And so, you know, and I can receive your apology in love.
I will say, as Carlton processes what he just heard and puts on the right set of ears,
Okay.
because you know, well, like, what? Wait a minute. Wait.
I think you're wise to bring up, you know, the word needs. I mean, that's really why we fight. You know, I mean, yeah, there's certain topics that a lot of couples fight about, whether it be family, finances, stuff like that. But usually why people are fighting is because a need is going unmet. And then something was said where a feeling was hurt, which is another unmet need because they don't feel loved or they don't feel respected. So the needs is a good part. And also to think about, yeah, what do I need during a fight too? Like, I think that word needs is huge. And I love what you mentioned about, the last thing I'll say is I love what you mentioned about like the intentionality, knowing that the person's coming from a good place. Because a lot of times, especially men, I work with a lot of men in my therapy practice. They're like, it just feels like no matter what I say, I can't word it right. And I'm so scared to even say something because if I misword it, then it becomes this big fight. But I'm really coming from this place of love. So I work on using I statements like I feel, I need, because there's a big difference between saying like, I feel really hurt when you talk about my family that way, rather than saying, you know, you always bash my family, you know? So yeah, really awesome points there, Nakia. I love that. The whole needs thing and the intention behind a conversation.
Okay. All right. Back to what she said. I'm going to address it, God darn it. Okay, I ain't gonna let that slide.
Wait, what did you hear? What did you hear?
Remember, I ain't gonna address
What did
it.
you hear?
I heard what
that's
you said.
good, Kelly. That's good, Kelly. What did you hear?
Yeah, 'cause maybe you heard something different. That you
What?
did.
All I heard
you
is it's my
something.
fault. And
Oh,
it's not
see,
your
you
fault.
heard
You're not
that.
taking responsibility of your actions.
No, wait
okay?
a minute. Wait,
I'm
she's
just
talking
messing
about because he walked
Oh, he walked away. Yeah,
Okay, like
I
this for
got that.
anybody. If you walk away in middle of somebody speaking, that is it's rude to the other person. Yes or no? Just period. Like you could be talking, I could be talking to my boss, and if she walking away in the middle of my conversation, I'm like, well, what is going on?
Right.
Because you're not hearing me.
Yeah.
Right.
You're walking out. And that's one thing that you don't want to have to apologize for later. So you be like, hey, listen, I need a second. Because I tell my boss all the time, and she'll follow us around. I be like, hold on, you're not about to follow me around. I need a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come back to you. I will find you when this is over, but give me a second to process everything.
And that's a perfect example too of when a fight happens, of correcting it for next time. So like, you know, you walk out of the room while they're talking. Then when things are better and you've resolved it and you're talking about, you know, maybe like I said, maybe you're just chilling out and it's 2 weeks after and you just bring up, you know, can I talk to you about something? When we had that last argument, I felt really hurt when you walked out. And one thing that I need during our conversation is if you need space, I want to give you space. But can you please tell me that that's what you like? Or even just, I tell couples, just do this. Because sometimes it's so hard, you don't want to be nasty. You just say, and then you have rules set up. Okay, that means he wants 30 minutes to think before he speaks.
Okay.
And that's hard in the moment. It's really hard, but it is helpful to have those boundaries set up around arguments.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let me address this question because someone asked a question on our Facebook Live.
Sweet.
That was very interesting. How long? Okay, I'm just going to sum it up. How long should a person wait till someone bring back the issue?
Well, let me see. I'll read it. It says, what if you can't resolve right away and you need a couple of days to process before you say something you might regret later?
There's a whole question.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Josh and I have kind of experienced that before because I'm definitely a verbal processor. I want to solve it now. I want to talk about it now. I want to get everything out. And that was something that when we got married, I had to learn about him, that he is an internal processor and he needs time. And initially, and sometimes I still struggle with it, initially when he would, oftentimes he'll be quiet, he's still like kind, but he's just a little more reserved and everything. And that's really hard for me because I kind of take that as like, I don't know, like kind of like abandonment or something. But I think kind of going back to, some of the stuff we've been talking about, that this marriage is a partnership. And because he's choosing to take the time to process, and as Kelly was saying, speak the truth in love, that is him loving me, and we've had an argument where I think, he took maybe 2 or 3 days before we really had like a real serious conversation. That was so hard.
Gosh, I don't even remember that.
It was just a couple of years ago.
Well,
Anyway, okay. But when he came back to me, what he said was, Katie, there is nothing that you could ever do or say that would ever make me stop loving you. And I'm just like, oh, can you imagine trying to say that in the heat of the moment? So, it's hard to say we'll take 48 to 72 hours, I think that one of the things I have asked Josh in the past is just like, okay, I understand this is how you process. You need time, you need space. Can you just maybe check in with me every once in a while? If you're gonna need a long time, just say hey, I just want to let you know, I'm still kind of struggling with this. I'm probably gonna need another day. Just communicating and checking in, saying this is what I need as an internal processor. And then I guess as, someone like me just being like, okay, I'm going to be patient because I love this man and, that's what I've signed up for.
I think to speak really directly to that person's question, how long should I wait before I bring, it's one of those things. It's hard to wave a magic wand and say, hey, 24 hours is the magic number. It really depends on the fight and the context of the argument or disagreement or whatever. But here's what I will say is that it is important to take time to process it. You don't want to say something that you'll regret, right? And I've talked about this, I think, before in one of our meetings. A great way to reopen the conversation, because that can be really hard. Like, I've taken all this time. They're upset that I've taken the time. One thing that you can do is present your dilemma. And you can say something like, and this is a very counselory technique, but you can say something like, I know I really want to talk about this, but I'm so scared that I'm going to say the wrong thing, or I'm so scared that something's going to come up. Or I want to talk about this now, but I'm scared that if we do, I'm going to say something that I regret because I haven't had the time to process it. I need space. As far as when to come back, there's no magic number. The key is that you have to. You have to come back. And that has to be known. Like there has to be a non-negotiable. And healthy marriages do that. You know, we learn about that in counseling school. Like you just have to come back. And you can't flee without, you know, I'm walking out this door and I'm not saying anything. If you need space, you have to communicate that you need space. You can even present your dilemma like this. I have this dilemma. I feel like I need time, and I'm worried if I take that time, you'll be upset with me. And that's an invitation to your partner to say, you know, Nakia, these are very counselory techniques that take a lot of practice. So I get that it's hard right in the middle of a fight to be like, I have a dilemma, and right. But as you're thinking and processing, that can be a nice way to either reopen the conversation or suggest that you do need some time for processing.
I hope that helped the viewer with that question. Everyone is different. Everyone process things differently. For men, I could say just speaking on my behalf, it might take me a minute, it might take me a week, or it might take me a month, but allow me to have that time. Most important thing, you got to learn your spouse, learn your significant other. You know, got to know what mood they in. You got to know when is a good time to talk to them. And that's one thing that is hard in the marriage. This is talking about the grit in the marriage. It's hard to learn your significant other because they always changing and life always changes them. So it's very important that you understand that you got to take the time out to seek and learn them as they grow because they still growing and you're still growing. So you want to make sure that y'all growing together and not separating as y'all grow. So with that, let me ask you this. This
I just heard you take like the biggest deep breath, like.
No. Okay, when I say this, okay. I did take a deep breath. It was a reason. This is the reason why. All right. I believe it took me 15 years, maybe. I'm still learning. I'm still learning my wife. I have not mastered it. I don't know the play-by-play. I'm still every day is something new. I gotta learn. Like, okay, I gotta study this play just in case this situation come up again. I got intercepted. Got it, taking it down, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning my wife. So with that, I'm asking both couples, what are the things you have learned recently during this pandemic about your spouse? There we go. Woo! Tell me. I know she's pregnant, so she doesn't count because she's pregnant. And you learned that.
What?
He learned that 27 weeks ago that she found out he was pregnant. So he learned something. I helped him out. Bam. See?
Wow.
You don't like that? I helped him out. I just helped him. I am my brother keeper.
I'm going to say this. Since the pandemic, we've had a lot of time to build, our evolving relationship, marriage. Mm-hmm. And I think we're past the stage where I have to learn her or learn her new habits because we kind of communicating everything. We do what we call status updates or status checks. Hey, where you are, where you at. And it's so regular and fresh that I'm kind of inclined to those changes. Now let's say, we as men, can go through different mood swings, be work or certain pressures of trying to build financially and, even spiritually. She might have to do that a little more frequently too, as far as checking me about where I am and me or asking me different questions. But I've learned how to respond and start volunteering some of that information too to alleviate some of the stresses that I may deal with. So,
nice.
Just being intentional about the communication constantly, where you are, where you at, how you feeling, what you're doing, and it just every day is different. Just reiterate. It's okay to ask me the same question every day because every day is different. So.
Man.
Yeah, I think I have learned or discovered that what's important to me is more important to him than I thought it was. Because it wasn't always communicated. So, if a person doesn't say that, or you don't have conversations about it, it's similar to what Carlton was saying about, when you're in the early stages and you have little children and you kind of have two separate things, going on. And so I didn't realize, that he was really paying attention to, or that it mattered as much, what individual things I had going on. But, thanks to the pandemic, since you have so much time and, conversation together and all of that, you get in these conversations and he's like pointing out specific things like, yeah, I want to do this and I want to do this. And I think, that'll match with what you're doing here. And, that'll help out with what you want to do over there. And I was like, oh, okay. So you're actually thinking about it. You're processing it, what I'm thinking about and things that I want to do. You're processing it even if you're not saying it.
Yeah, I love that. I think I've learned through the pandemic about our relationship is that, we're both homebodies for starters, and the pregnancy has definitely sort of helped us get through. Well, because it's been exciting working on the nursery and all that stuff, but I like that we have found ways to give each other space in a time where we're together a lot. And I've been good, if Katie just wants to go in the bedroom, watch TV, and I can just sort of tell when she needs some alone time, because in the beginning of the pandemic, I was working from home full time, and now I'm half and half. So I'm home a lot. And there's times where I just want alone time too. And we've played this pandemic thing very, very safe. So, we haven't done the family holidays. We don't go to friends' houses right now. And, but yeah, so I've learned that I've learned that we can give each other space even when we're together. And I think that's really important to maintain individuality. So that's what I would say for that one. Good question though.
Oh my gosh, what have I learned?
Somebody got to pat me on the back.
I need help him.
It's abuse. I was not saying nothing about the abuse.
It's not
that
abuse.
I
I was patting you on the back. I know you're a strong man, so I wanted to make sure I hit the right spot for you.
see. What
Well,
about
Kate,
Let me think. I learned that you can't sit still. You always got to keep moving. I'm like, can you just lay in the bed till 8:05? Just 8:05? No, you can't. You got to get up. You got to move. You got to be some. Go ahead, just go. Because you can't go nowhere. It's a pandemic. Just go. What, downstairs? I don't know. Just go. If you want to go, that makes you happy. I got to relax for a second, okay? I got to relax before I get up. Only because I feel like because we have a child, a small child, that's 6 years old, and she already be having me going, I need time to think before I get up. I gotta plan something for her to do before I get up. Because if I don't, then she's going to be on my head mom, mommy, mom. I'm surprised she ain't right here next to me, y'all. This is crazy. But that's what I learned. I learned that he got to keep going. If he don't, then he lost in his head. I don't know. What do you?
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I agree, Kelly.
Yeah.
Lacey,
So.
you on my side, Lacey? I couldn't tell by that comment. Are you on my side, Lacey, or you no?
Hey, it's a good thing, man. We got to keep going, man.
I mean, they don't understand that. I got to keep going. There's a goal in my head that I got to meet, and for some reason, I'm always chasing it. So it's in my head. I got to keep going. I got to keep moving.
So you just say that and then keep going.
Look, I gotta keep going.
Just go.
I gotta go. I don't know.
That's
I gotta make it.
I found what to do when he has to go. When he has to keep going, I turn on my favorite TV shows because he won't let me watch them. Right? I like reality TV shows, and he oh, I ain't watching that. So I'm like, okay, let me watch this without somebody in my why they doing this? Why they doing that? Because it's regular TV. It's reality. It's
yeah.
That's what they doing. They doing that because that's what they do.
what reality shows you watching, Kelly?
Oh no!
Oh, Atlanta.
All right, this is where the show is. God bless everybody. I make sure this show was a blessing.
I like a lot of them. Oh, Bama, what is it called? Alabama Shore, Bama Shore, or something. Carlton always.
It's a Bama show?
Because, I forgot the name, the whole
Like
name.
Floribama
Oh, yeah.
Shore.
Floribama. That's why I watched that. Oh, he and Carlton always laugh at me because I be watching the Chrisleys. Y'all know the Chrisleys? I watched that. They're hilarious to me. So
Crystal knows
funny.
best, Carlton. Crystal knows best.
Chris don't know nothing. He don't know dang on thing. That's why I realized
Katie,
he
I'm
doesn't.
calling you later, okay? We're gonna talk about it.
You gotta get get into some guilty pleasure TV over there, Carlton. We'll probably watch The Bachelor or something later tonight.
Oh,
Who,
yeah.
you?
Oh, we don't
Oh, I
talk
thought you
about
said
that.
we. I was about to say, I'm like, who's
We
we?
might have to get into it.
Who's
Don't
we?
you judge that man. Don't you judge him.
No, he said we. I like that's a plural word. That means is he including me in
Hey,
that
we might
word?
have to start
I didn't know
a
what.
group about watching The Bachelor, okay? Because I don't watch it, but, I can.
Carlton watching The Bachelor?
Carlton ain't watching no Bachelor. Carlton gonna be like this the whole time.
My guilty TV like late at night. Like I've got a window and I got in trouble about it. I mean, my show finally went off. I had to binge watch all 4 seasons of Reign. And it just I got hooked on it.
Oh.
And I have to watch it when it's after everybody goes to bed, so that because it's not the kind of show you can be in and out of the room on. So I have to pay attention. You got to see what's going on. But I got in trouble because somebody was like, "So you're not coming to bed? So you gonna stay down here and
This is
watch
what we
this
doing?
show?" Literally, he was in the doorway like, "I'm on the way to bed.
That's
Okay.
I'm
you
going
need to meet there.
upstairs. I'm going upstairs now." And I'm like, "Okay, good night, honey." Like, but I can't watch it during the day because there's too much going on. We got a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, so I don't get to pay attention to much TV. And now I finally finished the end of season 4, and I'm lost. I don't know what else.
So
Hey, I say people should comment with TV show recommendations,
Thank you.
reality TV
Everybody.
included.
everybody
Okay.
on right now who's watching. Everybody post a favorite TV shows you should watch right now. And in fact, you can post a movie. Like we just recently watched I Care a Lot.
Oh,
great movie.
Oh,
Great
is it a good
movie.
movie? We haven't watched
That
it
is
yet.
crazy. That is
it
crazy.
is crazy.
That
It
is
was
crazy.
crazy.
That was crazy. And I was like, wait a minute. People doing that right now. But
I
they-
believe
It's happening.
people doing that. I believe people doing that. I
They
believe
are.
that I got some other people in my life that can take care of me. Okay, they can take care.
We're gonna have to watch that one tonight.
No.
Oh,
That's
you
what-
look bad. You will get it
It's a
back.
really good movie.
Gotta watch it.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah, I like. Is it Rosamund Pike? Is that the girl?
I
Yeah,
think that's her name.
yeah. I liked her in Gone Girl or whatever that movie was.
She's intense.
Oh,
She knows
you
how
know
to
what?
kill.
I
You
didn't
know
even
what?
notice that.
That is
That's
right. That is
right.
Gone Girl. If
I
it,
do it.
if it,
I didn't even
You know what?
but he knows everybody who has ever acted in anything. I can't remember these people's names. I don't know who they are. I'm like, yeah, the one guy that was in the one thing and he's like Christian Bale. You don't know who Christian Bale is?
My man Lacey, I'm the same way. I have a question for the ladies. Didn't we talk about love languages a couple times ago?
yeah, we talked about the love languages. Yeah.
I'm curious what the ladies' love languages are. Speaking of conflict, and because a lot of times with conflict, it's about being able to speak that love language even in a tough moment. Ladies, have you heard about the love language?
Yeah,
So you got-
because he texted me and was like, "What's your love language?" And I was like, "Ain't you supposed to be working or something?" I'm working.
I'll list them off really quick. And as I list them off, I'll be curious to see what all the ladies' love languages are because the guys went over theirs. So you've got quality time, really spending that quality time together. Even if it's watching the TV show, phones are down, you're both in it, cuddling, whatever. You have physical and intimate touch, holding hands, hugging, sex, things like that. You have receiving gifts. So if he's, bringing you flowers or buying you some sort of gift, getting that makes you feel really, really loved. You have acts of service. So you come home, kitchen's clean or whatever. You're Lacey, he cleaned the house, or maybe Lacey went and took your car and filled it up with gas. And was like, hey, guess what? I got, I went and filled up your gas tank for you. And then the last one is words of affirmation or encouragement. So like, oh baby, I love you're so good at this, or gosh, you're so great at your job. You're such a good mom. So I'm sort of curious hearing those. Like Kelly, I'm curious in hearing those. Which usually people tend to gravitate towards two of them. So don't think you just have to give one. If you have to give two or three, go ahead. What would you say are yours?
I give all of them.
Carl, look at it.
All right, I could have told you that. I could have told you. You don't have to ask her. All of them. Every single last one. To the letter. To the letter. Okay. You spell words. You spell words of affirmation. I got to spell it out to her every day. I got to do that. Okay. Receiving gifts. I got to do it every day. Okay. Physical touch.
Okay, go ahead.
See, I gotta touch her face every so often. Every so often, I gotta stroke the furry wall. I gotta do that. I gotta remind her, like, yeah, you so beautiful. Your hair is soft. I gotta remind her. Her hair is soft, girl. Dang, her hair real soft.
You get to remind her.
Yes.
I'm not gonna respond because my brother's right there. Okay, but I'll send you a text message. What I have to say. Okay? I'm gonna send it directly to you. Okay.
I'm ready. You send it.
All right. You okay? Oh.
I would like to say. Let me see. My main ones.
Their main ones.
Thank you. And she said all of it. Then there's the main points. Okay.
Let's see. Quality time. Quality time is a real big one for me. Got to make sure you.
Okay, what's the definition of quality time, people? Because I want to know what's everybody's definition of quality time. See, there you see that.
I think spending intentional time together, like we are going to do this together without distraction.
All right, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, because we could go downstairs and we could watch a movie all day long, but that's what we would do that even if it wasn't. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like you gotta have that planned out in your head. Like, listen, we're watching a certain movie. We're gonna have some special popcorn. Okay.
Yeah.
Get your special water.
Effort into it.
Yep.
But quality time, I feel like that's a big one for me. Yeah.
What about one more? If you had to pick one more as your primary love languages.
You're giving her too much, man. Giving her too much. She got all five. Then you said, "Oh, give me that."
I mean, receiving gifts could be on the end. Let me see. It'd have to be between acts of service and physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Physical touch.
Yeah.
Don't you like when I touch you right here? Oh, our shoulders is together.
I gotta touch you.
What about you, Nakia? I'm curious what Nakia would say.
No, I think if I pick two, it would be acts of service and words of affirmation. Because I'm a communication person, so, and it doesn't always have to be like just compliments, because like it just saying a bunch of nice stuff is not necessarily the goal, but just good conversation, good intentional talking. Like too much silence make me nervous.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I don't, just a lot of silence. Why are you quiet? What you thinking about? What's wrong? I feel like something is wrong if you're not talking enough. So, and because he talks a lot. So, like he'll have his quiet man cave thing, and then he can talk for hours. So yeah, so I would say acts of service and words of affirmation. I like when you intentionally do things, when you make a point to plan, plan to do anything, right? It could be sweeping the floor, I really like when he washes the dishes. So
Yes.
it makes me so happy when he washes the dishes.
Lacey,
Oh.
there was a stretch where you didn't blink or move. You are incredible at sitting still, but you just had that look on your face like, I'm a boss over here. Hey, he's got the.
Yes, sir.
What about you, Katie?
My top two are, I love physical touch. I love being hugged and touched. And then
That's why she's pregnant.
he didn't touch for that. There was no
Why she's pregnant?
touching.
All right, we solved the problem why she's pregnant. Okay, she loves physical touch. We figured it out. She loves physical touch. Okay.
He just spoke to me. He just spoke. Pregnant boy. There you go.
That was it. That was it. Those are the good old days. That was the old good old days. We were just speaking and like, you pregnant, good boy. Let's go. Nakia?
But ironically, yeah, and then my other one is words of affirmation and encouragement too. I love when he tells me I love you. I love when he says, like, yeah, you're good at this, you're good at that, whatever.
Yeah.
Those are my two. But we did not touch to have this baby.
Hey, he got it right.
They're over there doing magic. Immaculate conception.
I've got my my Harry Potter wand over here or whatever.
Yeah, okay. All right. We've all been to health class. We know better.
Hey, this just went a whole nother route right here. She said, hey,
This is
got
another
my
phase
wand over
of
here. I said, what? What are we talking about? All right.
Other kind of show.
Carlton terrible.
He said it. All right. I did not the one who said it.
But you resaid it again.
I resaid it because he said it. All right,
We were all
you're
thinking
right.
it.
We all was thinking it. Everybody, all the business.
I was
All right, if
thinking
you know
it.
how you got here.
That's right.
Oh, let's talk about that because I don't know what it is. Let's address this normal. I know. Let's talk about it. The level of why you do that for the kid? Why are you doing that?
I just thought I would be comfortable for this. I don't know. It was involuntary. Sorry.
No, you're good.
know
I figured out what you about to say.
What do you think I'm about to say?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's the
whole
crazy
thing.
part. But Lacey know where I'm about to go with this because he's my brother. All right, here we go.
He
Lacey.
don't know where you about to go.
He do know where I'm about to go with.
I'm just prepared, man.
I see. That's why he's still like,
He
I'm
just
here.
prepared.
I'm here. All right. This is important in your marriage. Okay, everyone on Facebook. This is important. Sex matters in your marriage. I want to get that. Let's get that straight. You got that. That's if you can see a ceiling, that matters. Okay, if you can see it, I have a ceiling somewhere. It's up there. Okay. A lot of people believe that sex really doesn't matter in marriages. Look, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I do not endorse that statement, okay? But I do endorse this statement. Sex matters in your marriage. It's important that you take time and be intimate with your spouse.
Maybe the people who say sex does not matter only think sex is supposed to happen just to have a child. Maybe those are people. It gotta be.
Maybe.
First of all, my man's got the Midas touch over there. He's just waving his arm and she becomes pregnant. Okay? See? You see? All right? That's what I'm talking about. See?
Yeah, I don't know.
They practice some religion I don't want to be a part of.
Okay. Something else.
That's something else. Okay. You're married. Please take the time out over the course of the week. I'm not telling you how many times you should do it in the course of the week. I'm not telling you. I'm not doing that. Okay. That's none of my business. What I'm saying is that matters in your marriage. I don't care what you say. I know finance, communication, but that right there, the touch, because Katie knows, because she's 27 weeks. matters. Okay, it matters. Y'all don't agree with me? No one agrees.
Yeah, it
No.
matters.
No,
I
yeah,
agree.
definitely.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm about to say, I know I ain't the only one. Don't put me out there by myself, just floating in the water all by myself. Because Nakia wasn't going with me. She had her, she did this on me.
I was just asking where you were going with it. This might be the first time in a long time I've agreed with everything you said.
Today,
You know, so
today.
Yeah, you ain't post nothing on Facebook, did you?
Yeah, you know what? Also, back to all this other foolishness, okay?
Oh
I didn't address Nakia today. I usually address everybody. I didn't address her. Coffee is nasty.
wow.
I said it.
Hey, I mean, you know, if you're having a good marital session, you might need coffee the next day.
Girl,
Hey,
you're gonna need
Okay.
living water. That's I'm done.
Yeah, Carlton, there's some hot takes. I mean, this is coming from the guy that says the Sister Act movies aren't that good. I mean,
Hey,
yeah.
hold on. Wait a minute.
This way cannot be done. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Exactly.
So nobody agrees with me that Sister Act is overrated.
No.
I say overrated. Okay.
No.
Frozen. It's not
Overrated.
hated, but it's not
You know,
overrated.
it's one of my favorite movies. And as a matter of fact, I had people like screenshotting your message, your status when you posted it because they know how strongly I feel about Sister Act. And it's blasphemous, is what it is.
It is.
So
Is it heresy? Is it there?
it is. It
Yeah.
is.
All right.
Yeah, so just rewind to your previous statement. Just stay in that lane because that's the only thing. That's the only thing right and truthful you're saying today. Just stay right there.
Well,
I will.
Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, I think, I don't know if you'd be surprised or not, but I think I was surprised when I started doing counseling for folks. There are a lot of couples in sexless marriages. And somehow, some way, it just got to that point. Whether it was an incident that happened or they have just fallen out of it
Mhm.
is what I'll say is if it's gotten to that point for people that are watching or it's okay, but that's a good opportunity to see, there's a whole section of therapy that deals with sex therapy, for couples that are struggling with that. I mean, intimacy it can be challenging. I mean, we all have our own insecurities or it's a timing thing or whatever.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do it be like older people? Like
Give us an
older,
age group.
or you like a younger?
Any age. I've met with people in a young marriage that are in a sexless marriage, and I've middle-aged, older. It's more prevalent than we think. And again, from what I have found is it just kind of gets there. It just sort of happens, and it's something that needs to be addressed and talked about and problem solved. I'm thinking about that person that asked the question about how long. One thing with all of this stuff is, especially for guys, is I don't think guys are as good at this. The power of journaling or like just talking into your phone on a voicemail, the stream of consciousness, getting this stuff out is so important. Like if you need time and space to think about this stuff, use it with intention and purpose. And it's hard. I mean, Lacey, I know you own your own business. I own my own business. And look, I had sort of the day off today and I've been in meetings all day, so it's important to find these little times for ourselves. But yeah, if that's I agree, Carlton, sex does matter. And if someone's watching that's in that, you can pull out of it. It just takes work. You just got to work at it.
Well, do a check. I mean, I believe everyone needs to do a self-check on their marriage, especially when it comes to their sexual life in their marriage. The reason why divorce rate is so high is not because of finance, it's because sexless marriage. That's an alarming number. I found it, mind blowing when I heard about this number. Almost 40% of divorces is because of a sexless marriage, and I was like, wow. So what got to that point? And how did you get to that point of where you look at your spouse and you just walk away, or y'all sleeping in separate bedrooms? I remember the time when my grandfather and my grandmother, being married for 50 plus years. I thought it was like kind of strange at first, that my grandfather and my grandmother slept in different rooms. I was like, oh, okay, they just slept in different rooms. I like, well, over time, you know, just like, hey, I need my own space. You need your own space. But at the same time, looking at it now, I'm like, that's not healthy. They should be around. You should be around your spouse and want to have that touch. See, you see. Now I got the Midas touch, Josh.
There you go, Pat. It's the dance move. You just have to have the dance move.
Yeah, I saw the dance. I'm gonna have to take the dance. I'm gonna take the dance.
Don't take the dance.
Oh yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
All right, I want to do the dance. I really enjoyed this conversation. Any remarks, closing remarks? Because I know we're getting to our 1 hour, and I want to keep it at 1 hour. Any closing remarks from each couple?
I just want to say that marriage is beautiful. It's beautiful when you can find a way to master you guys' plan in the relationship. Each relationship has its own unique individuality to it, and it's a collaborative effort. If you and your partner both agree and can keep that open communication, know what place you guys are speaking from, and be conscious of those triggers, everything will be all right.
If I was a female, Lacey, I think I could be in a relationship with you, man. Shoot.
My man.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
God, he speaks with such conviction and love. I love it, man.
He does, right? You could just listen to that voice all night.
You could, yeah.
That's honestly that. I
See,
didn't say
let's
this
stop.
initially.
Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. Don't be,
Right, okay. Come on, Barry.
you know, just say something. Say something else.
Okay,
Just
sing
talk
us
some
a song.
more.
You need to release like a going to bed audio, like
Yes.
I'm going to tell you about the 3 C's of a relationship.
Yeah.
Consistency, communication. Yeah. The only thing I'd say, this has been awesome it's great to meet both Kelly and Nakia, and can't wait to have our barbecue this summer. I really hope that happens. And
Yes.
I'm going to come at it from my counselor hat, I guess, is that if you're struggling in a relationship, and again, for that person that had that message, first of all, thank you for asking a question during this. That's awesome. Don't be afraid to approach some couples counseling. It can be, even if you don't have a lot of conflict in your marriage, it can be a great insurance policy. It's a way for the two of you to communicate and say what you need to say to each other without fear of it turning into a fight or anything like that. And there's so many great couple and family therapists out there, but especially if you're struggling, it can be a really good start into reinvigorating the relationship in a lot of different ways, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Katie, you know what that means.
If your mind is touched back.
And there goes the dance. We did the dance 3 times. Everybody, I want.
Hey, that needs to be a meme, okay? I'm sitting at the Carlton, like, you ready?
I'm gonna send that to him every time. I was like, do the dance. I'm just gonna text him random. He's gonna be in the meeting. I'm like, do the dance. What about you, Katie? Any words?
I just think like one tip that I would give people, I guess, if they're asking like, what makes your marriage work? For me and Josh, it has been being a united front, which is hard to do because we're 2 different people, 2 different personalities, tastes, whatever. But that is one thing, especially during this pandemic, that I've really appreciated is that we've both made decisions together by keeping up that communication. Hey, are you okay with this? Are you not okay with this? So yeah, just having that unity, consistently thinking like, I love this person, they're for me, I'm for them. That I think those things have been really helpful in our relationship. And it helps us like solidify and create our own family, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
TEAM. Got to be a team.
A good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Kelly?
Yeah.
I mean, he always be dramatic, so I just felt like I had to act like I was like
Who's
being dramatic. and
dramatic?
stuff.
Who's dramatic?
So I would say, yeah, you're dramatic. I will always say marriage is work. And being in any relationship is work, but in a marriage, you're like actually living with that person, going like day to day. So you have to be able to learn that person. You gotta be able to give and take in marriage. You know, it gotta always be a lot of communication. I just feel like it's a lot. I mean, sometimes it's, do you want to work at it? If you want to work at it, get married. If you do not want to work at it,
Yeah.
don't get married.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's not for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I can say I'm happy in love right now.
Aw.
Oh,
My honey, like
God.
there.
I think he's frozen. I think he's under a spell right now.
Because I know because she remember she got 5 things and then she got 3 main points. Okay, remember that 5
What's
things
wrong?
and 3 main points. Okay, I got to deal with that. That's why.
Okay, make sure your spouse always touches you. Okay, okay. Make sure what your spouse is always giving you stuff.
See,
Make sure they love you. Yeah. He got.
Definitely, yeah.
You don't have no choice.
that's the Bible.
Right, right. Yeah.
Bible.
You have to give each other space to grow. Like, I think that would be my thing. It takes a lot of patience. And then while you are giving the other person space to grow, also consider how much work it might be for them to deal with you. You know, because it's so easy to look at what you want the other person to be together and polished in, you know, and you have no idea what things might be driving the other person crazy. So, you know, just allowing it time to unfold. Like, I've seen a lot of people get divorced really early, and they seem like they had, you know, the stuff to make it work, and it seemed like maybe they just didn't have the patience, or maybe just didn't give it the time to kind of, you know, cook down and turn into a good stew, you know, and become, I don't know, gumbo or chili or something. Maybe I'm hungry. It went left somewhere.
Yeah, me too
No,
now.
I'm hungry.
Throw all of the right stuff in a pot, and it'll taste terrible if you just don't let it cook long enough.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to let it cook down, let those good marital juices, you know, marinate. And then, because like in a couple of years, you know, you're going to change, you're going to transform. And that person, you don't know how awesome they might become or how great you could be in the marriage, you know, if you don't give each other time to grow into that better person.
Wow.
Wow, you're talking dirty to me. You got food plus relationship metaphor going on. This is, yeah, wow. Power couple.
Seriously.
That was a
the baby screaming in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but this is what your life is gonna become. All right. I just want you to know this is where you're headed. In the middle of cooking, work, business meetings, Zoom calls. You're gonna have that in the background.
So she's flipping the pen over as we speak.
As we speak. Yeah.
Hey, I know you guys got to go, but Nakia, I'm seriously going to use that metaphor in
I
my
love
work.
that.
Just, yeah, it's like a stew. You have to let this simmer for it to taste really good. You have to be patient.
That's smart.
Yeah. Go ahead, use it, Josh. I'm gonna steal the dance, so we're even. We're
Wow.
even. I want him doing that tonight. All right.
Well, I got some juices that was stewed, so Carlton can come on and taste these juices. Come on.
Watch it. Somebody
Oh,
said
Okay, okay, look, this is what I would like to do for all of us to come back next month, because I see a lot of people are putting some comments in. I would like to address it. So let's save those for later. I would like to do this again next month. Is she that, you know, because she'll be 27. There you go. I have to count. I have to count the week. Like she's 27
The
weeks.
baby will still be in the
The
oven.
baby's still being up.
Yeah.
Sure, like, okay, I'm counting. I gotta count. And then down. All right. I would like to do this again in April, the first Monday in April, and let's talk about the do's and don'ts of marriage. Let's do that.
Ooh.
I like that.
Let's do that. I think that will be very interesting because I have done a lot of don'ts. Okay, I'm not afraid to say I messed up. Okay, I messed up, but guess what? I fixed it because I'm a problem solver.
Ooh,
Okay.
Anyway,
he learned that.
I was born with that. Okay, see, she don't know it.
I taught him. Don't worry. Use
Good
your-
teacher. You got a good teacher.
I feel. Use your word.
I feel.
He's learning. He's learning. Hey, Carlton, I got to throw, just because I'm so passionate about this stuff, I don't know if I've done this before on here. I've tried not to, but if someone's watching, they're struggling with their relationship, go check out my website, hopehealchange.com, or give me a call, even if it's not to work with me, but just for some tips or a referral to somebody. Like Lacey said, marriages can be a beautiful, beautiful thing and so much fun. I have so much fun in my marriage, but if it's gotten to a point where it's gone sour, call me.
Yeah, call them.
Yeah.
Because I
Say it
call them.
again. Oh, say the website again.
Yeah, I got
Uh,
I type it in there.
Yep, hopehealchange.com, and my business phone number is 248-930-9132. But you can call or text.
Okay. There you go. I post the website up if you want to reach out to my brother who's taller than me, but he cannot bowl better than me. He tries to dance better than me, but he might won that one. He might won that dance contest.
We've seen you dance. So yeah.
Nakia, I mean, one day I need you to be on my side. One day, okay? One day. That's all I ask for. All I ask for in life is y'all to be on my side for one time. One. Okay? One time.
I gave you a compliment earlier.
Hey, look, they say cool guys don't dance, man, because I don't really dance. I two-step.
Hey,
I try every now and again.
Yeah, cool guys don't dance. We got the B-boy stance. That's what we do.
What's the big boy?
You don't know what the B-boy stance is? You don't know what the B-boy stance is?
You need rhythm though.
Do you?
What? What'd you say? I ain't hear Nakia.
Huh?
What'd you say?
What?
See, that's now you don't hear. I need you to put the ears on right now of listening. Okay. All right. Good die. All right. So next month, we're gonna do the do's and don'ts of marriage. All of us gonna come back. We're gonna do this again. No children. I know, and I want everyone to know on Facebook. She didn't go to the bathroom one time.
I didn't.
She did it. She went through the whole show without going to the bathroom. I'm proud of her. Okay. I don't know if Josh held her hand during the whole time. I don't know what happened, but she made it through the whole show.
I made it through.
The boy didn't have to go.
The boy didn't have to go. He controls her. He was like, no, you can sit through this. I allow this.
Okay.
It can be done.
He's the man cave.
All right. In the man cave. You could be in the man cave. You're in the man cave. You're all right. All right. Again, everyone, if you have questions about marriage, any question, we are not afraid to answer your questions. Trust me, you're not afraid. And we want to answer everything, get down to the grit of marriage, because we are trying to make sure we are help to others in their marriages. I hate the simple fact that people give up so easily in today's marriage, and people just quit so easily. So we want to make sure that you have a platform of people who are endorsed in marriage and want you to succeed in marriage, and we want you to succeed in your marriage. So we are here to help you. Josh is here. If you go to the website right there in the comment section, please go right there. He will get with you and everything. So if you need help in your marriage, counseling, anything, he's right here. This is the man to help you. Okay. He has been counseling me this whole time. He just didn't know it. He's been helping me. Okay. Because I ain't never.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Same here.
See?
Good job.
see,
Okay.
see, look, now Josh, you get a thumbs up from the wires, okay? Now, Josh, now they got to cook for you, okay? He got to give you that soup down at the bottom of the barrel type of soup. She gonna make it, okay? Oxtails and everything, all right? That's what we're gonna do.
Oh,
I heard the word gumbo mentioned, and I've honestly haven't been. I've been zoned out since.
All you heard was gumbo, and that's it.
So I completely blacked out. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, everybody, thank you so much. Please share this on your platforms, on your Facebook pages, and I hope you get a chance to rewatch it and everything. All right. Someone said oxtails is nasty. You know what? You're entitled for your opinion. All right. That's how I'm saying it. All right. To whom may be concerned. That's your opinion. All right. Anyway. All right. We love y'all. We appreciate you. Until next time. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye to everyone. Again, next month, April, the do's and don'ts of marriage.
All right. Be well.
Right. You too.
And he exit with the dead.